All right, welcome back. Now, I'm going to have a short monologue just to let people pile into the room. But I want to say to the fans in the comment section on all social media platforms, to the fans in the comment section on all videos covering WMMA, and I'm only talking about the fans who comment on WMMA, as well as the content creators. I'm talking to all the content creators. Y'all need to step your game up. Y'all got to do better with this coverage of the fight and let people know exactly what happened in there. I'm not hearing it, and it's right there on film. Come on, man. What needs to be said is not being said. To be honest, if there are a lot of content creators and fans saying exactly what need to be said, I wouldn't make videos. I wouldn't make any videos at all. But I get frustrated when I don't hear or see, as far as reading comments, people saying what happened. You need to tell the audience what happened in the fight. Now, that said, before this fight, what did I say? I said, I don't like this fight for Wang Cong. Didn't I say that? And let me be clear about something else. Had Wang Cong sparked Gabriella and sparked, all of her future opponents, without question, she would become a star. People, I'm not telling you what I think. That's irrefutable. That's going to happen with any fighter who crashes out like that. That's just what it is. The problem with that is you take a huge risk. It's a huge risk because your invincibility is most likely going to end someday. But it's all about whether or not it ends before you get the title. Let's say Wang kept up this Joker persona, whooped all of her opponents, got the belt, and made 5 title defenses. If she were to get choked out at that point, it really wouldn't matter. She's already lived her dream. She's already experienced something that really no other chick is going to experience. We haven't yet seen a fighter really crash out like that and just be invincible. Except maybe like Cyborg. Okay? The Ali formula works. If you want to be a star, the Ali formula is an option. It works. It's guaranteed to work. If you don't use the Ali formula, if you're just a professional, quiet, PR-friendly champion, there's a good chance you're going to be one of those low-key champions that's not really appreciated. You're not making much money. You're not getting much pay-per-view points. UFC don't really appreciate you. They can't market you. You have no character. So people are not bending over backwards to watch your fights. That's why they put so much stock in fighters having character. So, Wang Cong's attempt failed as far as remaining undefeated. She could very well continue on with this Joker thing and just not care about what nobody thinks. She could continue with these Joker antics and pulling out her gun and shooting her opponent, all this stuff, and go on to win the remainder of her fights or go on to continue losing, just without a care about what nobody think about it. Some fighters do that. They mosey into the face-off with face paint, and they'll be on a loss streak. But China don't really like that. China don't like failures. They're extremely hard on their athletes. And this was first discovered in the Olympics. Boy, you don't want to be a losing global competitor from China. Okay, if you are, you better be the best. Okay, now, before this fight, I said I don't like this fight for Wang Cong, right? I said, because Gabriella can hit. She hits hard. I gave Gabriella a chance. I was not one of these people who are out here thinking that this was a fight to make Cong look good. No. Remember, the fighters Gabriella lost to were wrestlers. Jasmine Jesuda Vicious, Teresa Bleda. Fernandes lost to ground fighters. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that if she fights a pure striker, she's going to be at her very best. And what did you see? You saw Fernandes not have to worry about being taken down so much that she herself had takedown options. She went for takedowns more than once. So what does that mean? Gabriella was the only complete fighter in there. Come on, people. Dan Hardy, Michael Bisping, Daniel Cormier, Joe Rogan. Y'all sound slow. Why does everybody sound like meth addicts or opioid addicts? Y'all brains is not working no more. There's no excuse for nobody to have pointed this out, period. So I'm proclaiming right now, WMMAddict is the home of the most detailed breakdowns until y'all step it up. Doggone it. Should have warned y'all, don't let Renegade Addict show up. All right, don't get me upset up in here. Break down the fight accurately, people. Gabriella was the only complete fighter in there. Going for takedown. Why do y'all think I said I don't like this fight for Wang Cong? Huh? What did y'all see in that first round? Let's get deeper. I want my listeners to understand fighting, man. What'd you see in that first round? You saw an unusual, consistent attack to Gabriella's body. Do y'all understand what the purpose of that is? It's to take your opponent's power away. And did y'all see it didn't work? Another reason I didn't like this fight for Wang Cong. Gabriella's not only strong, she's durable. Let me hit the brakes. Let me hit the brakes. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this. I know a lot of people don't like to hear stuff like this. But when we deal with Dagestani fighters, there's certain qualities we're all aware of. The wrestling, the gas tank, or whatever. When you're dealing with a lot of these Brazilians, they're extremely durable. When you're dealing with a lot of these black fighters, they can take a lot of punishment. You've never seen Angela Hill knocked out, but we've seen that girl clobbered I don't know how many times. Gabriella, you ain't really never seen her just get beaten up, knocked out. Look, let me show y'all something. Lord, how fast people forget. Did y'all forget this? She can take a lot of punishment. I can almost guarantee you, any other fighter would have lost tremendous power. They would have lost power enough to where they couldn't have knocked her out. She knocked Cong down with a punch, one punch in the second round after having her body riddled with punches and kicks for a good 7 minutes. Gabriella still had one strike knockout power. That's dangerous, and that's exactly what I explained before this fight went down. I said it's a dangerous fight. Gabriella can crack. And if Cong I knew that if Cong failed to stop Gabriella in the first round, there was a good chance it was going to get more and more competitive. And that's exactly what happened. Gabriella started to grow, started to throw more out there. Now let's look at exactly what happened. Now this is where we get down to the nitty gritty. This is where I get a little disappointed with the people, with the analysts, the journalists, and the people who analyze the fight. You know, like channel hosts and stuff like that. Gabriella tried this kick multiple times in this fight, and this kick actually landed. It was partially cuffed, but it landed almost on Cong's neck. Cong sort of grabbed her leg and fell, right? Let's take a look at it. I don't think it landed flush, because Cong was sort of moving in the direction of the kick. She saw it coming, and she sort of moved in the direction of the kick to take the steam off of it. You see? But it did land. It did land. But Cong sort of did that. She didn't want to do that. But she did that because she knew that she had to take that kick. So she wanted to do something to take the steam off. But if you notice, Cong was still on wobbly legs after that landed. But I don't think Cong was really hurt right here. Because if you watch, she never takes her eyes off Fernandes. She never takes her eyes off Fernandes. Watch her. See? Now, I'm gonna show y'all the mistake Cong made. She should have backed up right here. She should have backed up. Now, she saw Gabriella was about to get up. Do you know what Cong should have done right here? If she had all her faculties, if she wasn't hurt by that kick, Cong should have stepped to her right. She should have, you got your opponent against the cage like this, step around this way and kick him or punch him. What did Cong do? She stood right there, and what was this attack right here? What? No! Again, Cong was supposed to step to her right. This is her right hand right here. She's supposed to step over here. Go this way, girl. But she stands there and throws these and look at her. Just launch an attack. Okay, so Gabriella steps to her left, seeing that Cong didn't want to occupy that space. Gabriella would not have done that. She would not have stepped to her left had Cong moved to her right. But that allowed Gabriella to get off some offense, right? She swings, and look at Cong right here. That shot did not land right there. But it looks like Cong is on wobbly legs. You see that? That punch did not land, but Cong looked like she was still on wobbly legs from that kick. So I'm saying that kick most likely did some damage. But if she had her faculties enough to launch an attack right here, you better back up, get out the way. You better create distance. Did you see Yan doing this? You see all the distance Yan kept between herself and Ricci? That's what Cong supposed to do. Cong was a striker. In kickboxing, she was like this. Spaz out and dart towards her opponent like a rocket with all these strikes. You can't do that in MMA. You see? She's just going after her really on Gabriella's strong side. With Gabriella stepping to her left like this, it opens Wang up for Gabriella's left hand. Remember, Gabriella is a southpaw. Her power hand's over here. So because she stepped to her left, she can now throw her left hand like that. And that gave Cong something to worry about. You saw that shot missed. But Wang is still off balance. Okay? She wobbly right here. Why ain't she get out the way? Why ain't she moved? She in a horrible position right now. What? Look, watch this. Look at this. Look at it. Look at that. Gabriella's, how many times I've pointed this out? She stood there. Wang Cong stood there and allowed Gabriella to get on the outside of her leg. You saw that coming. Y'all saw that coming before it happened. It was like Cong put herself in a position for Gabriella to be on the outside of her leg. It's like Cong walked into the outside, right? Gave her the outside of her leg. Watch her. Look, you're right here. That's a horrible position. Now look at this. Look at her right here. You see what Gabriella's doing. She's moving to your weak side, which is exactly what I said Cong should have done when Gabriella was on the ground. You should have moved to Gabriella's weak side. But instead, she does this. Listen, orthodox fighters, which is what Cong is, against southpaw fighters, never let your opponent's leg get on the outside of your leg like that. When you do, you're in their power range. You're lined up for a straight left hand. And cracked her with a straight left. Foot placement. And a failure to get out the way. Now, that wasn't her only mistake. You get cracked, you fall. Which, again, shows Gabriella's power. Getting riddled in the body for all this, I don't know how many shots she took to the body. Still had knockout power. Late in the second round. You got 1:35 left. It's a dangerous opponent. And again, there was a lot of people in the comment section of these website stuff talking about how this was a fight to make Wang look good. No. They matched her against a dangerous opponent. Again, Gabriella is at her best when she don't have to worry about being taken down. So, Wang falls from a punch. And what does she do? What does she do? She gives up her back. When she should have stayed on her back. She should have stayed. She should have what? She tried to spin to her left. So that she could use her guard and protect herself from ground and pound. Instead, what does she do? Look at this. She gets in this position instead. Immediately gives up her back. Immediately. Because she has no ground game. She don't trust it. She might be able to submit a fighter here and there, but she is not 100% thorough ground fighter. A ground fighter would have not given up their back. Oh, I don't know why fighters do this. Use your guard. Don't give up your back. You're better off using your guard, especially with 1:33 left. She starts crawling. Can't use her hands to defend her neck. They're occupied. She's crawling with all four limbs. So Gabriella takes her neck. And look, where's her hands? Look at where Wang's hands are. She's flying through the sky, right? This is why I said Wang crashing out like that was crazy. You know, any fighter, it's not personal with Wang. I'm saying any female fighter to crash out is crazy. I don't care who you are. Nobody's good enough to crash out like that. Ain't nobody good enough to be Floyd Mayweather. Now let me be more specific. Floyd took Ali's handbook but never lost. And people are trying to copy Floyd because that made Floyd the highest paid athlete in sports history. Can I get an amen? Floyd is behind all this, all these antics, and everybody want to be the undefeated, and I can't be beat. I can whoop everybody. I ain't worried about nobody. Oh, face paint. Let me do the antics. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. It started with Ali. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. And then when Floyd made it work and became the highest paid athlete, no matter what sport you're talking about. Floyd made more money than any athlete in sports history. You don't fully appreciate that until you are a fighter yourself, collecting and cashing real checks. That's when you realize, wow, if I were cashing a $50 million, $100 million check, that's a whole different world. That's when you be like, wow, the Floyd Mayweathers are incredible. That's where I want to be. In order to be that, you need a strong character, a polarizing character, and insane skills. Wang has the striking, but I'd question her fight IQ and her ground game. I question her striking IQ. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm just going over the fight. But Gabriella was going for this fight, or this kick. She went for this kick several times. Wang would usually back up. Wang did not back up here because I think she was kind of tired and didn't feel like backing up no more. Not only that, I suspect she wanted to get closer and closer to Gabriella. In the second round, she came out more aggressive than she was in the first round. Talking about Wang Cong. She was clearly going for a stoppage, I feel like, the whole fight. You still can't deny Wang Cong. Now, what would it be like if I got on here and said, fraud check, as I digress, right? Abruptly, fraud check, like they did with Kareem Silva, right? Ha ha, where are my laughing emojis? Ha ha, all the Joker, face paint, shooting the gun, fraud check. That don't help matters none. So instead of being a degenerate like that, I'm going to be honest and say that Wang Cong still has great potential. She still has potential. Remember, a lot of fighters have taken L's and went on to become champions. A lot of fighters only suffered one L, Chris Cyborg, and went on to be undefeated and be a long-reigning champion. It's not over for Wang Cong. It's just now getting started. This was her 7th professional MMA bout. Relax. Okay, that's just for all the people who talking about, oh, the hype train is ended. That hype train could very well start back up again. She go on to dispense the remainder of her opponents. Y'all gonna be looking back at this fight and say, oh, well, she was getting her early. She got caught. She's made improvements since then. Different fighter now. She's on top of the world. So calm down, people. That's for all the Chinese fans and all the fans of Wang Cong. And that includes myself. But I'm a fan of all these fighters. Equally. And when Gabriella came into the UFC, I was behind her. And remember, I was upset that she was matched up against another strong, undefeated fighter. If I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, they're both undefeated. At least in the UFC. You know, I didn't like the idea of two fighters making their debut fighting each other. Because that means one of them guaranteed got to take a loss on their record. I just prefer to see dominant fighters. I mean, how can you not get behind Wang Cong? How could you not have gotten behind Gabriella? Thing is, Gabriella need to work on her ground game. And the thing is, had Wang Cong had a ground game, she would have been able, I think, to deal with Gabriella. Let me show y'all something else. Had Wang Cong had a ground game, I was so dangerous right there. That was Jessica Andrade stuff. You're running to your right like that, you gonna walk right into a punch. But let me show y'all something here. Right here. Y'all see that? Hopefully y'all can see that. I believe a Valentina Shevchenko would have ducked underneath that left hand and went for a takedown. If you're buzzed and you're in touch with your ground skills, I think that's what Wang would have done. Because you could see this straight left hand coming a mile away. And you know she's on the outside of your lead leg. If she would have ducked, she could have easily taken Gabriella down right then. But instead, she tries to hit her with a left hook. Cong is caught up at this point in a pure striker. She thinks she's in a kickboxing match again. But it really don't matter because she just got bested striking. Gabriella didn't employ no ground skills to get this win. It started with a kick. And remember, go watch the fight. This is not how Wang was responding to those kicks early in the fight. She was backing up. Wang was backing up. And you can see this kick coming. You can see it coming, but it looked like Wang was already on her front foot. It looked like Wang was already in the process of maybe launching an attack. But she was backing up. But she was getting so eager to get close. And her hands was down. You got your hands down for her. This girl been throwing head kicks the whole fight, Gabriella. And you're close to her. You see her going again. You got your hands down? Like, huh? So she tried to turn this into a push. You know how they'll grab your leg and push you down? But she caught that kick. She caught it. Still sort of had her faculties. But right here, man, Cong should have ran this way to her right. You see? Because then she would have been on Gabriella's weak side. She could have moved in this direction and threw a body kick or head kick or whatever. Instead, she just does this. Like, what? What? What are you doing? Get out of here. Stop that. Yeah. Let's charging in. You can't be doing that. Almost got hit. She may have gotten hit just then. I need to get another angle. It looked like she got hit in that moment. When she ran in like that. And remember that's how Jan hit Jessica Andrade. Coming in at that exact angle right there. Watch. Right there. The exact same thing Andrade was doing with Yan Xiaonan. We have just now caught Wang Cong fighting like Jessica Andrade. There it is. Right there on film. And the exact same thing happened, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like Wang caught that shot. Right there. Here it comes. Boom. That's the same thing Andrade did. Wang Cong has always been like this. She gets in this zone when she starts striking and she just charging at you like a mad woman. She's doing it to Valentina. That's why Valentina was clinching so much. Like, man, this broad crazy. Come in with throwing all these barrage of punches, and you all look at what kind of attack is this? What was she trying to do just then? And when Gabriella stepped to her left, it was a wrap. You don't run into no person in no position like that. And look at how Gabriella is now in her stance. She's in the southpaw stance right now. Cong is not. Cong is out of position right here. Out of position. That's why Gabriella cracked her. Boop. Charging in like Andrade. And then right here, like I said, Lord. I mean, look at the position here. This is Cong's stance. She's an orthodox fighter. Gabriella is a mile southwest. She way outside of Wang Cong's lead leg. Like, wow. You didn't feel in danger just then? And whoa, see, Gabriella picked up on that immediately. Like, this broad is all out of position. Now, I will give Wang Cong credit. And other girls should, I think, take note. What sets Wang Cong apart, and make no mistake, I think she's a better striker than Gabriella. She's a better striker than Gabriella. And I think by a wide margin. Gabriella is still good enough to land shots, to get her shots off. And if you're a power striker, that's all you need. That's why, I didn't like this fight for Wang Cong. Gabriella, again, those Brazilians, the black chicks, they can take more punishment. They were born with natural muscle, more muscle density, which make them more durable. You punch a guy with big fat muscles, it can take it better. You punch a guy with flat muscles, you're going to crash into his bone and ligaments and all kind of stuff. Gabriella should not have had that much power at the end of the second round after taking all those body attacks. That was ridiculous. Gabriella is as strong and durable as a freaking bull. These girls going forward better recognize that. And one thing you better not do, be running in thinking you just gonna knock her out or some nonsense like that. Y'all better start taking what type of organism you fighting into consideration. Okay? Angela Hill figured that out. She figured out those elbows, most of her opponents cut easy. And she basically started to base her whole existence on her Muay Thai elbows. So we've lost another potential star. And again, I don't understand how. Listen, I'm behind anybody. If you bad enough, you big enough, you bad enough to be a star, I want more stars. We need more stars. Give me something to talk about. Y'all have seen several cards where I don't even make content. I don't even talk about the fights. It's because there ain't no stars. Ain't nobody standing out. A bunch of mediocre fighters. You go in there slap boxing. I don't want to talk about it. But if you got more stars, quality fighters, standout fighters, that motivates me. So it's nothing. I don't fanboy off no particular fighter. I'm a fan of all of them. But I'm not a fanatic of any of them. I'm a fan of all of them as far as my getting the most bang for my buck. Give me the most bang for my buck. Now you go back and watch that Yan Xiaonan fight. Shout out to WMMA rankings. No, I do not. This is not my website. You go back and watch that Yan Xiaonan fight. Yan fought the way Cong should have. Did you notice the distance management. And shout out to the Chinese girls. They showed out tonight. But particularly Yan Xiaonan and Wang Cong, I felt showed above average striking for the women. Both of them were committed to their opponent's bodies, committed to body attacks. And listen, even though it wasn't enough to take Gabriella's power away, you still got to attack her body, Gabriella's body. Because, man, look, had she not attacked Gabriella's body, those strikes would have had more power. The strikes that she did land on Cong. I've even made a video about it a long time ago. How body attacks in WMMA is missing. It's missing. So you saw Wang and Yan throwing both punches and kicks to the body. Punches and kicks to the body, especially Wang Cong. Very, very crisp striking from Wang Cong. She looks like a dude when she strikes. She looks like a dude. Now, even though she got choked out, got clobbered, just like I thought might happen, she showed more of her skills. We got to see more of her skills. Remember, she knocked out that girl in her debut in a few seconds. We didn't get to see nothing. In this fight, we saw more from Wang Cong. Man, she is mind-blowingly skilled as a striker offensively. Problem is, she leaves her head up there. She leaves her head up there, and she gets a little reckless at times. Makes bad decisions sometimes. Those decisions she made, she needed to stay on top of her positioning. Positioning and what to do and what not to do. Don't give up your back like that. More practice on your back. Don't give up your back like that. Again, going back to what I said earlier, I don't understand. A lot of fighters do that. They will rather give up their back than to try to use their guard, utilize their guard. That was definitely what she should have done. Spun around, tried to use her guard. You only got a minute and 30 seconds left. Now, this was a nasty knockout. No, let me go back to this fight with Yan Xiaonan and Tabitha Ricci. I think Tabitha Ricci at first. Then I switched to Yan Xiaonan. What is this? Tabitha robbed a few wins, and Yan showed how average Tabitha is. Yeah. Tabitha cannot deal with high-level strikers. And I told you, her takedown ability was not that good. Where was the attempts? She wasn't even really trying. And with Yan's stance, can't nobody convince me. Carla would have been in there, ankle diving. She would have turned into Superwoman in there. Nothing but ankle diving, flying through the air, especially, again, how Yan was standing there. Tabitha wasn't even really trying. She wasn't even really going for those takedowns, which is exactly what I was talking about, which is why I took Yan, and I should have stayed with Yan, because she went in there and whooped Tabitha. She whooped Tabitha, man. Let me see if I can get some images or something up in her. She whooped her. I was feeling sorry for Tabitha. You know what I got flashbacks of? Tabitha Ricci, Manon Fiore. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, I don't know about nobody else. After a while, I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, she had that discouraged look on her face, Tabitha Ricci. Yan was crisp with those strikes. Crisp, look at her form. Always enjoy watching Yan fight. And y'all see at the end of the last round, she got her signature Sanda kick in there. So I believe the other China girl got performance of the night, at least, I mean, with a knockout like that, it's hard to deny. But Jan looked good. But in part, Tabitha is not a good striker. And look how small she is. And honestly, Tabitha might be one of those atom weights. She might be one of those atom weights. You know, I don't know, and I don't think so. I would doubt it, but it's possible. Because at 115, she looked rock solid. Rock solid. Most girls, when they get down to like artificial weight that's super, super low, like Joanna was doing, most of them, and I'm not to sound perverted, their buttocks go flat, like extremely flat. That's the last thing to go. And if you notice, you see them, they get on the scale, their glutes are gone. Y'all remember in the post that Carla made when she was cutting down the weight, she said, no more booty. No more booty. And I'm speaking from experience. I've lost weight and got down to like 6% body fat at least 10 times in my life. I've done this myself several times. Your buttocks is like the last thing to go. Tabitha still got glutes at 115. So I'm saying maybe it's possible she could make it down to atom weight. Because Jan is not really that big of a fight. She's not that big herself. But she looked like a giant in there next to Tabitha Ricci. That was ridiculous. The difference was so dramatic. I thought Tabitha was not going to rely on no parts of her striking. Get in there and break your neck, try to kill yourself to get a takedown. Get a takedown by any means necessary. You go in against a bigger fighter, and she got crazy, sick striking. Another thing I'm noticing in MMA, most fighters need to lose before they become the best version of themselves. It seems like a trend for fighters to have buzz, lose, and then make gradual improvements and eventually go on to be a title contender or a champion. That's what it looks like to me. Most of them. You look at fighters aside from Joanna Rose. She took some L's on her way up. The standouts are two of the biggest stars who have better legacies than Rose. Joanna did not take an L before she got the belt, even though I feel like she did against Claudia. You know, gift decision. Whaley did not take a loss before she got the title. A big contributor to her stardom, to the popularity that she currently has. Both of them stand out. Same with Valentina Shevchenko in the flyweight division. Her flyweight run was historic. Valentina's has a historic flyweight run. Not so much so at bantamweight. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, Valentina lost at bantamweight before she was able to fight for the strap. And she lost to the same fighter she fought for the strap, Amanda Nunes. That killed her buzz. I don't know how many people remember, but when Valentina made her UFC debut, she had a little buzz going on there. Yeah? She had a little buzz going on there. So, yeah. She took that, she beat Sarah Kaufman, lost to Amanda Nunes with bumpy road at 135. But at 125, smooth sailing, historic stuff. This, remember, let's look at records. This was Wang Cong's first professional MMA loss. We're going to look at Jan's record too. Because even though this was a fight against an opponent ranked far beneath her, Whaley, there's a shortage of competition right now. And, she could very well fight her way back into another title shot. a rematch with Wei Li, even though she might get finished for real this time. Okay, this is her first fight since losing to Wei Li. First fight since losing to Wei Li, and she fought somebody ranked far beneath her. Let's go back to the rankings here. All right. Yeah, man. People were writing Gabriella off. I gave Gabriella a better chance than almost anybody. I didn't even want the fight to happen. If it were up to me, I would have ducked Gabriella. If I were her advisor, Wang's advisor, like I said before the fight even happened, I would have said, no, we're going to duck her. So, yeah, don't. I'm not one of those people who was writing Gabriella off. Yeah, this is sad what's going on at the strawweight division. What's the real sad thing is Tatiana Suarez. Just injury after injury. She's too injury prone. I don't know if that was at chemo's, weakened her bones or ligaments. This ain't normal, man. This ain't normal. I'm behind people chasing their dreams and stuff like that. But man, I don't know. I don't know about this. Hopefully, she can get better and she's herself. Because it's to the point now where by the time she fights, you got to wonder, is she even herself? You got the long layoff and she's injury prone. But we haven't heard anything. Somebody left a comment asking a question about Wei Li. And it was a pretty good question. Because Wei Li's like, what is she doing, man? Her opponent, did she fought in her last fight? Okay. What is Wei Li doing? Are they trying to set up Wei Li against Shevchenko? Is that why Manon is saying stop making people wait? Because Shevchenko is like, no, I want to fight Wei Li Zhang or something. What's going on? I've caught on to it. And it's possible. I'm not going to say that I believe that's what happened, but it's possible. Now remember, Wei Li had back-to-back losses. A lot of people thought it was like a wrap for Wei Li. Like, you had a buzz. Hey, right? Wei Li had a lost to Ming Bo. But that was an incredible win streak right there. It didn't have back-to-back losses. And right now, she's seen as being on top of the world. So it's not over for Gabriella. It's not over for Wang Cong. Remember, Wang Cong is like 32 years old. I think Gabriella is like 31 years old. They got a long ways. Think of how much they can do in the next 8, 9, 10 years. We just had a 40-plus-year-old fighter fight. We're going to have a whole lot more. Okay, we got plenty of time. There's no telling how their career is going to unfold. But Yang was her most recent fight back April 2024. April, May, June, July, August, September. It's been 7 months. We haven't heard anything in 7 months. What is going on? What's going on for real, for real? But there's a sad shortage of potential opponents for Wei Li Zhang. And I'm just not excited about that. You go all the way down to number 5 and you're still running into fighters who've already lost to Wei Li Zhang. And Mackenzie Dern just not in a position. We might hear the announcement of, I'm expecting Verna to get it. Or somebody. Now, who do we have left? We just lost another undefeated fighter. Listen, I don't care what nobody think. Would you support whatever you want to support? I support undefeated fighters. Y'all got to get it together. I want to see something incredible. If y'all like looking at mediocre, lackluster, and unevolved skill set, knock yourself out. I want to see more fighters looking incredible in there. I want to be in awe when I watch these fights. I want them to have the same appeal that the men's fights have. I want to be just as motivated to watch as I am to watch the man. In order for that to happen, I mean, you come off as a person with higher integrity when what you cover and deal with is something that's of quality. I get more respect. We all get more respect when our content is of high quality. The only way for that to happen is for these girls to step their effing games up. Step your games up. You can do it. Another lesson you need to take from Wang, Cong, in my opinion, and this is what sets her apart. It's a huge part of what sets her apart from other strikers. You know what it is? Distance management. She makes sure to step in range with the vast majority of her shots. Many of you are agreeing with me immediately because you noticed it yourself. A big part of what sets Wang apart is not her speed. It's not so much her form, even though she got excellent form. It's her assertiveness, her willingness to step in the range and make sure the shots land. She's not throwing an unusual number of shots. Joanna is higher volume than Wang, Cong. It's her willingness to step into range to land what she's throwing. I've been complaining about that with the females for years. Big problem with the women. Be more assertive. You're going to chuck those strikes out there. Make sure you're close enough to land. So, if I'm not mistaken, well, this is the flyweight division. So, okay, Wang, Cong was undefeated. Yeah. And, okay, so all we have left is Natalia Silva, and Manon Fior. Natalia Silva and Manon Fior. We'll see how long they can hold on to it, but Manon really doesn't have character. She really doesn't have character. She don't carry on with the antics, right? You don't see all those antics, face paint, shooting a gun, clowning, all this kind of stuff from Manon. Maybe that's why she only got 90,000 followers, even though she's been at the top of the division for a very long time and about to fight for the belt. Let's say she gets the belt. She'll be a champion sitting at less than 100,000 followers on Instagram. Had she had on display more character and boasted about how nobody can beat her, I'm the best, I guarantee you she'd have a stronger following right now. She'd have more sponsors reaching out to her right now. Who is this chick that's bragging about being the best and actually proving it? I mean, the UFC would prefer that. Manon herself would prefer that. She would prefer to be sitting on 1 million followers. It's possible. Without ever having fighting for the strap. Okay? In today's world, following translates into money. Income. That's just what it is. Many fights are based on how strong your social media following is. In today's world, far more so than before, in the internet world, having character matters. It matters. So Manon has a relatively poor following for a fighter that's in the position that she's in, because she doesn't have, she don't have that. Valentina has a character. It might not be as intense as some others, but I've always talked about her character as being appealing to most people. At least here in the United States, I primarily only speak for Americans. We've always been kind of intrigued and, had respect for Russian accents, especially Russian tough guy. Any Russian accent just has it sounds bullyish to our ears. And she has that sort of female assassin, Russian chick, kind of a bully. It works for her. She has a pretty solid following. But on top of that, she's highly skilled, and she's been doing this for an extremely long time. Alexa Grasso, I think, has a character. I'm still sort of dealing with Wang Cong. I think that's kind of, we had a lot of highlights tonight, but that's one of them. And listen, I fully support these fighters developing some type of character as long as it's convincing. And some fighters don't have to actively try to craft or create a character for themselves. With some of them just being themselves, they have character. I think Shevchenko's one of them. Alexa Grasso, I think a lot of it is she has a character. A little pretty Mexican girl. A little young looking pretty Mexican girl. Manon, not so much. Even with her French and being French, the only French. Listen, Americans, we love French accents. We love the sound of the French language. She should have a stronger following than she does. Now, I know it's in part because she's getting a lot of decisions, but trust me. And she's not, she don't have her buns plastered across her social media and stuff like that. But character matters. Erin Blanchfield, one loss in the UFC. She's not doing too bad. I don't think her following is all that. It's not next level. But that's the world we live in, people. Sadly. Well, she has a stronger following than Manon Fiore. Yeah, Manon needs some help. I don't know. I don't know why people just don't want to follow her. She's had the exposure. I don't know what's going on. Say MMA is a crazy sport. Wang showed very good striking, dominated all the fight until she got caught by one kick that made her lose the fight. She's very talented, gifted striking, but her nonchalant showboating, no respect for her opponent, make her lose focus and fight. She should have. I feel like it seems like when she fights, she loses patience. Like there's times when she should show more patience and make better decisions. Put it like that. She still looks very dangerous. As a striker, she's very dangerous. She also stuffed a takedown or two from Gabriella. Now, Gabriella never known as a ground fighter. But again, Gabriella was the more complete fighter in there. She just was. Yeah, poor Tabitha. Jan called out Wei Li. Hey, good for her. She may as well. Poor strawweight division. I don't like the direction they're headed in. It's getting worse and worse. That knockout, that was strawweight division, so kudos to her. Let's go to that other fight. Kudos to her. I haven't watched it yet. I've not watched it yet. I saw the highlights. I saw the knockout, but I haven't watched it yet. But this girl landed a vicious, very vicious head kick. Knocked her poor opponent out cold. Don't even want to show that. But here, I'll share it. I'm sure all of you have seen it. Wait a minute here. Strawweight division, right? Shi Ming. Did y'all, man, they put a fixture on her head and her neck. I don't know what that thing is called, but she need to be carried out on a stretcher. Lord have mercy. Let me see if I can pull it up. That girl got, they pulled out a gadget from outer space. Put that girl, what is that? Poor girl. I hope she's okay. I hope she's okay. Have we heard anything from her? Or what is that, a harness? That's not good. That's what I don't want to see. That's what I don't want to see. Y'all be careful in there. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up, girl. What is this? Look at you. Let's look at that kick. Girl, is that the, I don't think. Yeah, that's the kick. Come on, ladies. Boy, and she got now, and she was stiff. When she laid her out, when she hit that floor, she was stiff. She was dreaming. And then she took some more shots. Man, oh man. She should have walked off. She should have walked off. But hey, I can't complain about a knockout. You say she's a doctor? Oh, she got airlifted. Oh, snap. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I haven't even watched the fight yet. I watched the highlight, I watched the knockout, but I haven't watched the fight yet. But here, let me look up her record. I want to see how she's doing up in there. Got to see how she's. Wait a minute. Yeah, let's do that. I remember looking up somebody's record. Okay, she's 17-5. Her nickname is Bunny Bomb. Okay, Bunny Bomb. Go ahead, girl. You go, girl. Got a pretty good win streak. Okay. Been stopped twice. And the other losses, lost by decision. She's been stopped. Whoa, I'm sorry. She's been stopped 3 times. Stopped 3 times. Submitted. TKO. Submission. Wait a minute. Submission. TKO. Yeah, no, twice. Sorry. Stopped twice. I gotta check her out. I gotta look at her fights. That's a pretty extensive record. She fought in the road. I never even heard of her. I haven't even watched these fights. Okay, she's been okay. Road to UFC. I have to check her out. Now, this was her opponent. Okay. Poor girl. No, this girl, yeah, poor girl. Oh, she was doing well. Look at that. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She was on an 8-fight win streak. Who took her? Now, she was on an 8-fight win streak with her hands down like that. You see what I'm talking about? Girls with, like, you can have a lot of flaws and still move up through the rankings. Like, overall, WMMA is not that evolved. It's not that evolved. Again, that's a big reason why fights like Weili Zhang and Valentina Shevchenko stand out on star status. So yeah, hopefully, she'll be all right, and we'll see where we go after this. The UFC is clearly, like I said before, signing more Asian fighters. They've talked about opening an atomweight division. Man, that girl is so much bigger. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. What are we doing here? Talked about opening an atomweight division. We'll see how that goes. They made a couple more fights. Your girl Dudakova is going to fight Fatima Klein. Now, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. Fatima Klein. No. Yeah, I'm not excited about that. Not excited about that fight. We'll see if they can woo me. They made Julia Avila, Jacqueline Cavalcante. Already talked about that fight. We'll see what happens. Cavalcante might be in trouble because she is another striker. These strikers, these pure strikers. I made a video about this. How hard it is to do what Joanna and Alex Pereira are doing. And even Pereira has taken an L. He's seen as a monster, a legend already. He's been knocked out cold already. But this strategy of being a pure striker and a dominant champion, the chances of that happening is low, much lower than your chances would be if you are a good striker and a good ground. Valentina, listen, to this day, that's why I say she makes the best champion. And that I prefer Valentina to be the champion. She's the best representative to this day. To this day. She has figured out that you need to be as much of a threat on your feet as you are on the ground. Can't be a fighter who, and you got to have discipline. See, Shevchenko gets criticized for having too much discipline. Being too disciplined. Waiting too much. Throw more strikes. You're not throwing enough. Okay? Put it like this. I don't think Shevchenko would have done this. Cong did a lot of things that I don't think Shevchenko would have done. I know she's up there in age. And keep in mind, she ain't even that old. Shevchenko's not that old. Right? Well, how old is she? Let me see how old this girl is. And Andrade, Lord, y'all believe she's only 33? And we could very well see Andrade fighting for the next 7 years. Can you imagine that? We don't be the people's career and like the whole divisions in general is just getting started. That is crazy. It's weird. Now where is this? Okay. Lord, this girl's taking so many losses. Okay, she's 36. 36. Now, people have been given John Jones talking about retiring, age 37. I don't think that's that young, but it's not that old. I think your body starts to, give in your early 40s. Most people, they start to get a little slower, they just start to age. I think most of them around their early 40s. The difference is that Shevchenko hasn't taken that much punishment over her career. So when you talk about wear and tear, how much damage has she really absorbed over the years? Not much. And with her ego, she might fight till she's 50 years old. 50 years old. Now, I don't know if she'll still be the best representative as the champion, but I don't see her retiring no time, especially if she's still the champion. Now, there was something else that I wanted to point out here. Yeah, let me go here. I don't want to forget nothing, because I might not be producing content here for a while. Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah. But Natalia Silva, I think, is her biggest threat. I don't think Macy beats Shevchenko. I don't think Aaron beats her. Manon, I give Manon a solid chance. But I don't think they're going to make a fourth fight with Grasso either. I think Silva is her biggest threat. Now, honestly, if she beats Silva, what's left for her to do other than fight Weili Zhang, if Weili Zhang even still got the belt? At that point, Shevchenko is near the end of her career, man. I don't know what she's hanging around for. But I see her retiring soon. She has to retire soon. Like, literally, she got like 1 or 2 more fights left. I would say Manon and likely Natalia Silva. It is crazy how her career is unfolding. She just never wants to retire. She's not tired, and somebody needs to ask her. Like, aren't you tired of fighting yet? Do you really want to stick around and fight these? Many of these girls are well, actually, they're all kind of old. Man, please. I would be out of here. You know the craziest thing about WMMA, MMA in general, is watching how that life unfolds, the entirety of their career. And we haven't really seen it yet. And reflect on how you saw them earlier in their career. Many of these fighters have had losses, and we thought it was all over for them. Juliana Pena, most annoying fighter in a lot of people's eyes. That's one of them. She's taking a loss. Got choked out by Jermaine Durandamy. She got the belt and talking all kinds of smack, as if she ain't never taken an L before. A loss is not going to kill you. Losses is part of the game. But I honestly believe, and I said this before, I think it depresses a lot of the females. I think losses sends many of them into depression. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't. They should all be prepared for how to deal with losses. Right? With MMA, I could show you several boxers right now who got titles and they're still undefeated. Do you also remember how many boxers we've had, let's say over the past 20 years, 30 years, who remained undefeated, got the strap, and made multiple defenses, never having lost a single fight? It happens far more often in boxing than it does in MMA. So expect losses. Don't let them, send you into depression. And don't, it's their decision. But I would say don't read comments from people on social media. Don't read comments from people on social media. Because in the real world, you would not listen to what everybody has to say. You would not value with the things that every single person had to say, would you? In real life? Of course not. You only listen to people with respect, who earn the right to have your attention. And that's the thing. Many of these fighters don't have people around them like that. And I would like to talk to Wang Cong's team. Like, I need to be a coach or something, man. To be honest with you. I need to be on somebody's team. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to MMA, I think I'd have a much higher chance being a successful advisor or some type of advice coach or something in MMA than I would have in boxing. There's plenty in boxing. But MMA, it's like totally void. Totally void. Some of the most simplest things, a lot of these fighters, I just don't get it. So there was a time when the flyweight had, taken over and stood as the division with the most undefeated fighters. That's what skyrocketed flyweight division's popularity above the strawweight division. I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. It was a shock to most of us because it was a dead division. Horrible, dead, worthless division. But with the arrival of multiple fighters who were getting stoppages, who hadn't lost yet, it became the most popular and competitive overnight. Let's not forget that. It was undefeated fighters that made this division great. Fighters doing exceptionally well. But times have changed. And fighters have, come home from battle with losses. And the only remaining fighter who's undefeated is Natalia Silva. I want that fight immediately after the Manon-Fior fight. If Silva has not lost, I expect them to match her up against somebody. Macy Barber. Macy. It's like nobody else for Natalia to fight. Come on. Grasso is fighting Manon. Well, no. Aaron. Right? Who was that called out Grasso? Wasn't that Aaron? Why am I drawing a blank? It was Aaron. Yeah. Manon's fighting Valentina. Macy, who you fighting? If she get past, and listen, if Barbara wins, she might be getting a title shot. Don't match her against nobody. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at this here. I would say no. No. Don't match her against nobody else. Let me see here. Wait a minute. This girl. Funny name. Yeah, no. No. That'll be unfortunate. Okay? Okay, maybe they have to fight. They have to fight. Natalia Silva and Macy Barber have to fight. Whoever win that fight get a title shot. Yeah. Go ahead and make Shevchenko Manon. And now let's say Valentina wins. They're going to have to give a shot. They're going to have to give the number 4 or 5 ranked fighter a shot. Most definitely. And I just think it's crazy that Shevchenko want to stick around for all that. That's kind of crazy. Seeing these girls crashing out. Like Whaley, almost like, I don't know, man. Some of these girls are just crazy for real and like in real life. And I don't know about nobody else. I couldn't date no fighter, man. She'll kill you in your sleep. She'll kill you in your sleep. Yeah. You be sleeping, she start hitting you. These chicks are crazy for real. But yeah, let's hope old girl is all right, and we'll see what division goes on from here. If you notice, the flyweight division is losing some of its allure. You know, it's not the division it was just a short while ago. It's not. Short while ago, we was real confused on, you know, who'd take over the division, who'd beat Valentin Shevchenko. And most of us were picking people other than Grasso. Other than Grasso. We looked at Grasso as food. That's a food. That's a fighter Shevchenko would pick if she had the option to choose her next opponent. And that's basically what she did, remember? She sent a tweet or a Instagram post and said, hey, girl, you're next. It's time for you to fight. This is your job. She said that to Alexa Grasso before the fight was made. This is your job. You're next. So come on, let's go. We was talking about Aaron, Manon. It's Grasso, the one that did it. So anything can happen, people. It's too easy to lose. It's too easy to lose in MMA. So anybody wants to say, listen, man, if you even dare say I'm the best, good luck to you. I'm going to point it out. If I hear you, if I see it or whatever, talk about you're the best. See, these girls very careful not to do that. Y'all notice that. This ain't like, oh, I'm going to do my best and chase my dream. That's how they talk. These fighters talk like that. Oh, chasing my dreams. Yeah. But to be out here, I'm the best. I'm not worried about. I didn't check. I didn't do any research on any of these fighters. I don't care what they have to offer. I'm the best in the division. But anybody try to pull that, it's not going to get by on this channel. Because I see what you're doing, and I know exactly what you're doing. Okay, you dare to be great, and that's what you're doing it for. That's what you're doing it for. You know what you're doing. You know why you're popping off at the gums like that. John Jones, he's doing that. He got on the mic and made a goat sound, didn't he? He wasn't. You think he was saying that about Demetrius Johnson? You think he made that sound for Demetrius Johnson? No. He calling himself the greatest of all time. All right, John. All right, John. He go in there and get sparked. It's going to be that much more of a event, of a spectacle. And that contributes to his success. Some of the best numbers, he's very good. Look at his record. Some of the best UFC PPV numbers have come from Jon Jones being on the cards. It boosts your popularity, and since you're more popular, the division's more popular. That's another thing people don't look at. Like Shevchenko. Shevchenko was good for the flyweight division, and many of the fighters appreciated her as the champion because she draws attention to the division. So there's a lot of stock. There's a lot of stock in a fighter being outspoken. There's money in it. The promotional companies love it, and your bank account is going to love it, and it's going to show it. It's just extremely difficult to do. One thing you got to be is a complete fighter. You got to be a complete fighter. And even as a striker, you still, got to expect to be pushed sometime. This fight with Gabriella, I can guarantee you, had it not been a knockout, it would have still been sort of a challenge for Wang, because she was getting hit more often. Fatigue, whatever it was, she was taking more chances and taking more shots. Most of these fighters are competitive with each other. Very few of them really stand out overall as fighters. So, good luck to the next person who wants to try something like that. Good luck to you. But just understand, it's difficult. It's difficult and very risky. Now, you can imagine the lectures that Wang Cong is about to get now. Just like I said in the previous video, before the fight card went down, I said Wang is crazy. She's nuts. She's crazy for real. Because she go in there and get clobbered. She's going to get lecture after lecture. You're going to have fans who've never left comments in the comment section of a video in their life, leaving comments, giving her a lecture. Aha, you better do away with the face paint, take your opponent serious, control yourself, and all this kind of stuff. They are going to travel to the moon and back with the lectures now. Is she going to be a meme? We'll see. Like I said, a permanent meme. So, hey, but look, that also might bring more attention to you in your next fight. Who knows? And maybe she showed enough quality skill to acquire followers even though she lost. Right? So we'll see how it works out for them. And I'll land it there.